Got this at Goodwill, Roswell. I drove past Roswell once. If you don't know, Roswell was where the aliens landed. I don't know where I'm at with the aliens, to be honest. I mean, I think statistically life exists in the universe. You know, if you think about what goes on, what it takes to make life, I've been realizing we're not that special. You know, it's just carbon and methane and not even oxygen. I think the first single cell something or others. I don't even think there was oxygen in the early conditions of Earth. There's a great, this is kind of some nerdy shit. I'm still deciding if the Miller-Urey experiment, 1954, look it up. They created inorganic compounds into organic compounds. Anyways, that's not how I wanted to start this podcast. I wanted to do something topical. I guess 1954. That's my dog, Sonny. He's a Chihuahua, long hair. I'm embarrassed to say we got him from a breeder, but I think they lied to us. I think actually I think he's a mutt. I really do think that he's mixed with like a dachshund or something. The reason people whenever I'm at like a supermarket or something, because I bring my dog to the supermarket because I'm a psychopath. People are like, oh my god, where did you get him? Yeah, and I'm like, oh, we rescued him. Yes, we rescued him from a fire, from an arson situation, because people get weird when you say you got your dog from a breeder. Now the reason being, I rescued 3 other Chihuahuas in my life, but all of them have severe mental health issues. And if you know anything about me, which you don't, you shouldn't, because I'm not anywhere near knowable, I am a mentally ill Middle Eastern man. I have bipolar depression. My psychiatrist doesn't think it's bipolar, but my wife does. And then I'm on like 4 or 5 different antidepressants and mood stabilizers. 2 and 2. But anyways, I got a dog. And I just wanted one dog that doesn't have mental health issues. You know what I mean? I don't think that's too much to ask for. And this dog, he doesn't have any mental health issues, but he has a whole bunch of other character flaws. He barks at things that don't exist. So he might have schizophrenia. He sees dead people. I don't know. You know what I mean? That movie. I don't know. Do people still watch The Sixth Sense? Bruce Willis. He doesn't know where his senses are now. That's too bad. Pulp Fiction. He was in Pulp Fiction. I was watching that the other day. Oh, you know what's kind of interesting? So Tarantino shot a first cut of Pulp Fiction. Final cut, put it together. It might not be a first cut, but anyways, he got like a group, like a dozen of his director friends together to watch it. And everyone sat down, and after it finished, everyone was really quiet. And then they kind of, oh yeah, good job, Terry. And then they went off and they talked, and they were like, what are we gonna do? We're gonna tell Quentin this is awful. And then it went to the Cannes Film Festival and won the Palme d'Or, which is like the grand prize. And his friend was like, oh, Quentin, I'm so glad I was going to tell you the movie was awful. But, you know, and I really thought about that. And I think it goes to show, though, that not only do we not know what is going to succeed, like when they were recording the album Nevermind by Nirvana, the guy, I mean, the people in the, I think they were working with Vic something, but I mean, they didn't know it was going to be a hit record. But also at the time, nobody knew how to watch a Tarantino movie, you know, when you have a genre shifting piece of art like Nirvana's or Tarantino, you know, from the 80s and hair metal, whatever they were doing. It takes people a little while to catch on. Like when Einstein first came out with whatever the fuck he did. No, the relativity, theory of relativity. Special relativity was first. 1905. Man, I hope is it nerdy to know stuff? Sorry. I'm mentally ill. Can you be a nerd and mentally ill? Sorry for the excessive breathing into the microphone. But people were resistant to special relativity. It took a while. I think it took like maybe until 1913 for it to really catch on. People were like, this is a load of shit. Fucking space and time are unified and gravity bends? The hell is this? Who would have known that gravity bent? This is kind of an interesting story. 2 years prior to Einstein discovering special relativity, the relativity of space and time, there was a French mathematician, Henri Poincaré. He wrote a book about special relativity, and Einstein and his friends read it, and then Poincaré showed up at their university. Was it in Zurich? I read a book a while ago, Quantum, and they were all excited, but I guess he didn't show up, or maybe he did and they heard it. Either way, Einstein fucking knew about special relativity, and I'm not saying he stole it, but so here's the difference. Poincaré was a mathematician. Was he? I don't fucking know. Maybe he was just a philosopher. All I know is that he handled the first part of relativity. Like he set up some theoretical stuff about relativity, but I don't think that he had the advanced math. But neither did Einstein. Einstein ended up having his childhood friend who was a mathematician also. All of these guys were getting pussy too in Zurich. But yeah, Einstein was throwing around. He had multiple women. Man, so many women. But where was I going with this? I'm not saying they stole it from Poincaré, but special relativity was ripe for discovery in 1905. And I honestly think if Einstein had not discovered it, Einstein had the right skill set. He understood the theoretical side that Poincaré had kind of started to lay out. He was also a fan of the philosopher Immanuel Kant. He read Kant's Critique of Pure Reason at age 12, which that book's really tough. I think I've been reading it for a while, and I'm still on the introduction. And I'm 37, so 12-year-old Einstein was a lot smarter than me. But that's all right. I'm podcasting in a basement. But Einstein had the theoretical understanding. He was kind of primed from Poincaré and Kant. And then he had his mathematical friend, but he also just was a guy that went against the grain, and he was also a brilliant guy. He had done some stuff even before special relativity about kind of it was like they dropped molasses into a cup of water, and it was about the like random complexity pattern. I'm forgetting the thing, but it was basically about the exponential complexity of the way that molasses, and it was more just a metaphor for complexity, and I'm fucking getting it wrong, but I'm reading another book about complexity right now, which sounds so fucking pretentious. But it's like, these are like the books I read. I'm like a Barnes and Noble intellectual, like I'm not Nobody's accepting me into their fucking graduate program. I'm just average. I'm like, I was like a B student. But anyways, I just like this stuff. So I'm still trying to figure out the name of this podcast. I was going to call it I Hate Podcasting, but now I'm wondering if I should have some kind of like, I like learning stuff, but I really want to be cool. Then I was going to call it like just mentally ill Middle Eastern man, but I don't really like that either. I don't fucking care. I really do I don't hate podcasting. I hate it before I sit down to podcast. I hate it. I'm like, God, I do not want to podcast. But now that I'm doing it, it seems fun because I'm a stand-up comedian and it kind of feels like stand-up, except I'm sitting down, so I feel more like the way Bill Cosby did stand-up. Hats off. Where were we going with this? Did we have anything else? Oh, one more thing. Darwin discovered evolution, natural selection. I think it was like 1840 or 1860. It was somewhere around that, and I forgot. I'm like I don't finish books. I just skim through them while I'm on the toilet. But the reason he published The Origin of Species, his book, the one that like kind of got evolution started, was only because independently of him, this guy Alfred Wallace was going out to publish his own book about evolution. And then they ended up co-authoring the paper. Darwin reached out to him, which was actually pretty cool. But then history ended up giving all the credit to Darwin. Because Darwin did stumble on it first, I think 20 years prior. But Darwin just kind of put it in a drawer. He's like, everyone's going to hate this. And they did. They did. They still do, some of them. But see, I mean, if someone has shot Darwin, the way they shot Abe Lincoln, Alfred Wallace would have discovered evolution. If someone had shot Einstein, they would have, probably some other guy would have discovered it. There was a bunch of brilliant guys back then. Einstein was a little bit lucky. I know people like to mythologize his intelligence, but it's capped. Human intelligence is capped, whereas things you can discover are kind of more scale-free. All right. I hate myself. I'm embarrassed for knowing all this stuff and caring. Caring is the worst part. We'll see if this podcast keeps going. Give it a thumbs down if you liked it.